You're listening to Redvolution Rampage. I'm Omar.
I'm Zach.
Amanda.
I'm the other Zach.
Yeah, we have a guest with us today. Zach, would you give yourself an intro?
Sure.
Who you are.
My name is Zak Selwaeh. My last name's a mouthful, but it's no problem. Just you don't have to say it, so just call me Zach S. I do a little bit of talking for NC State Hockey on the TV sometimes. So
just sometimes, just a little bit.
Just a little bit. My biggest fan's my mom, so
Yeah.
it's all for her.
Hey, check him out on Pack TV.
Thanks.
Hey, don't worry. We're both in the hard last name category.
Oh,
so.
definitely.
Oh yeah, definitely. This podcast just keeps getting better and better.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's get into it.
Yeah, we're going to talk a bit about Canes hockey. We're going to talk a little bit about All-Star Game. We're going to go into NC State a little bit more with our guest. Dive a little deep into women's hockey. Again, can tie that into the All-Star Game. We got some thoughts about some things that have happened. And yeah, we're going to dive into all that right after this. We are back. Anyway, so
Let's go.
we haven't recorded since the beginning of the month, and that's kind of when the Canes really started on their
I would say up and down
Amazing.
area.
no.
They had some good areas and like a little bit of a bad area and then back
they
to
were
good.
because they were at their three-game win streak.
Yeah.
Against the Flyers, and
It was still a very fun time.
right, and they went on a full 5-game win streak, which got stopped by Tampa.
Very good game though. We should have won.
We should have won that game. Honestly, we were winning up until the refs gave them power plays for sneezing.
And then we kind of had a little bit of a downturn where we lost a few games here and there. But then as soon as we went to Canada for that 3-game stretch before the All-Star break, we really turned
it
up.
back up.
We got 5 points out of 6 in Canada. That's something we usually never do. We beat Vancouver in Vancouver for the first time since 1999.
Yeah, I think it's the first time we've won a game in that time zone.
I was 5 the last time they won.
It's been a great time for Canes hockey in this month of January. They've elected to receive a lot of these points.
And looking at the standings, it looks really promising. Right now, they have 54 points. They're 5th in division, but they're only 4 points out of a playoff spot.
They're only 4 points out of the playoff spot, and that team is the Penguins, who
we're playing very soon.
They play. Well, by the time we publish this episode, they'll be playing. I can't remember who they're playing against. I don't have the.
And it's MP. They're going to be in PNC Arena soon, so it's going to be a gigantic mound of
They're
black.
playing the Devils.
Oh,
They're playing the Devils, and then the Flyers will play in the Jets.
All right, we're cheering for the Devils tonight. We got a lot of red already.
Not tonight, but tomorrow. Oh, well, by the time we publish this episode, yeah.
Yeah. But still, a lot of red. We're already there. Go Devils.
It's just so weird to say.
Yeah.
Well, after 2009, I'm pretty sure they'll never forgive us.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
All right, so that's what the Canes are up to. Then we move a little bit further south with Charlotte, who are still killing everything in sight.
They're crushing it. They played last night. Ned back in net after his game against
Vancouver.
First
NHL win.
First NHL win.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, that was a great game.
It really was.
He did an awesome
I mean, he
job.
had the 2-goal stretch where they pounded in, I think it was 2 goals in like 3 minutes, but they were quality goals.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, you can't really blame Ned there. I mean, you were facing a line of Elias Peterson, and I believe there was a couple other guys. That was some elite passing. I still thought, though, throughout the game, Ned was very solid in net.
No,
He
Ned
was very
amazing.
good.
And
Absolutely.
I think
I find it weird that every goal happened in the second period.
it did. It was funny because I stayed up for the first period, and then they were up 2-1 on us, and I was like, all right, now I'm going to bed. So by the time I got snugly in bed, and it's like, oh, they got another couple of goals. I'm like, okay, maybe I should finish watching this. And by the time I got up and got back to my TV, the second period ended, I'm like, I'll watch the third. Nothing happened in the third either. So I think the lesson here is go to bed.
Sleep is important.
Go to
Yes.
bed with the win. That's what is important. I mean, going to bed after that Calgary game was just depressing.
Yeah.
Well,
I think I like the Calgary game, right?
The Calgary game was good overall. The
Bill
Cage
Peters-
should have won, period, the end.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but Derek Ryan did.
Yeah, we still don't like Derek Ryan.
He did.
He's not worth that contract in
He
Calgary
didn't
either.
interfere with Mrazek, and I think that challenge should have stayed, should have held, and that should have been no goal. But Bill Peters was in the building, so the Canes don't win any
But the team
coaches challenges.
But
with
the team that Bill
in the-
Peters never touched the Checkers, first in the AHL. They're killing everything. They're about to go on their own All-Star break. They are 9 points clear of first place in the AHL. They have nobody within reasonable sight of them.
They're 1-3 in their past 4, but still, nonetheless, they're still playing like a top team in the AHL.
They are, and
And
the
it's getting
Checkers,
fun.
It starts with the coaching, and Coach Vellucci's been amazing at taking that talent and making them into amazing players. Jake Bean had 2 goals in, I think, the loss to the Marlies, and even like Jake Bean, he's taking all these players. Even Hayden Fleury's scoring goals down there, something he has yet to achieve in at least 30 games in the NHL.
And not to forget about the other 2016 draft pick, Julien Gauthier is also on fire down there. His game has picked up so much since last year.
I'm surprised we haven't even called him up yet.
Honestly,
He'll get a chance. I think he'll get a chance.
But not only is the coaching staff really improving there, the crowd in Bojangles Coliseum is coming alive. More people are coming, they're more vocal, and they're getting involved. The Rally Sally lives.
That's what happens when you win. And that's what happens when you make the playoffs. Because they've made the playoffs consistency for the last 2 years. They're building a fan base. People like to say hockey don't belong in the South. I'm sorry, Canada, but hockey belongs everywhere in the world.
If you want to say hockey doesn't belong in the South, then you are mistaken. Because let's talk about the next team.
You know the only place you can say hockey doesn't belong in the South? You know the only place you can actually say that?
Alabama.
No.
Georgia?
I mean, they're having the Winter Classic
Atlanta.
in Texas.
No.
Atlanta.
No. The southern tip of Argentina. That's the only place you can accurately say it.
Yeah, that is true.
That's pretty south. Yeah.
Well, they got Penguins, so let's give them.
Like
them
I
credit
said,
where
it doesn't
credit is
belong
due.
in the
right.
Give them credit where credit is due. They got Penguins. We're waiting for
Nobody
our first
wants
Argentinian
Penguins.
hockey player. We're waiting. All right, so next we have something that me and Omar had fun with last night, the Fayetteville Marksmen.
Yeah, we went over and went to their blackout game. And I think that's a great idea.
They have a lot of
Everyone
things
was
that are
wearing
great idea.
black. The stands were full of people. Everyone was wearing black. It looked like solidarity, especially with the Canes are trying to push towards this. Hey, black isn't. We want black to kind of be our main color. The fans love it. Everyone likes it. Red should take a back seat to the black. It really should. We own it, and it kind of fits the theme with hurricanes. I'm sorry, but when a hurricane rolls through, you get blackouts.
Yeah,
Oh,
but on the
okay.
ice, Marksmen
That's
are
true.
actually
That's true.
performing
I
really
can see
well as
that.
well.
They are. In that league, and watching them play, it's a whole different beast. You know, they're a lot more aggressive, and when they do
Oh, you
score
think?
goals, have you seen? You saw some of the
There is
celebrations.
man, the celebrations were awesome. The stick fighting was awesome. The amount of hits in that game was unbelievable, and the violently hit.
Oh yeah, and they play for each other. They really do play for each
They
other.
really
down
do.
there.
It was a fun game. Fayetteville ended up losing in a shootout, but it was a very, very fun game. It was 4,500 people were in the Crown Coliseum.
Yeah, about 45, closer, almost 5.
It was a
1,000 people.
very exciting time for that hockey arena because for years it was they
Fire
don't
ants didn't really do anything to kind of push people to come.
Yeah.
They're like, build it and they will come. It's like, no.
Now they're
something
actually
called
trying.
marketing.
Now they're actually trying. They're getting. I think this was like the 5th time this year they've had a crowd over 4,000 people.
And one of their directors of broadcasting actually started hosting a coaches show. I believe it's like Kickback Jake's. I forgot the name of the
Kickback Jacks.
Kickback Jacks.
Yeah, it's a restaurant.
Yeah, I was trying to think of the name. I'm not good with names.
It's all right.
Yeah, need
Hey,
to-
you can't forget mine.
yeah, no, because you're the OG Zach. Yeah, so
Yeah.
But going more on that, the fan base there, from what I saw in just a little bit of the live stream, it did not look that bad for an SPHL team.
No.
That was very impressive, at least on their end.
Did you see us go insane?
No.
Don't worry, you will soon. I actually requested to the marksman to send us the video of us singing Sweet Caroline because they had us on screen for like a minute.
Lord help us.
Yeah.
Don't worry, everybody. You will see it soon enough. As soon as we get it, we're putting it up on Twitter.
Oh boy.
But we will be going back. It was a lot of fun with us and some of our buddies in Red Eye Rowdies and Section 328. It was a lot of fun. We're going to go back. We're going to try to bring more people. We're going to try to get Amanda this time.
Yes.
And people out there will put it out there. Hey, if you want to come. It was $8 to get in, so it was it was very well worth $8.
Yeah, the best $8 I've ever spent.
Tonight it was.
Yeah, really?
Today it's $5 to get in.
Yeah, with college.
No, that was Friday. Today it's $5 with the kid.
Yeah, with the kids.
And then it's post-game skate for the kids.
Gotta bring a kid.
All right, we're not finding one of those.
But yeah, marksmen are doing really well. They are what, 8 out of their last 10 they've won.
Yes.
And still, with that, they're 6th in the CPHL. So it's a very high standard league. Now I'm just trying to see where it all goes. Will they make the playoffs? Will they make a run for their championship? It's all going to be very interesting what's going to happen in Fayetteville.
Yeah, I think it'll be a lot of fun. We should come back down there, try to see if we can come back down there for some for a playoff game or.
They invited us back, so we're more than welcome to come.
Yeah, sounds like fun.
All right, and then the last professional one in North Carolina, we got the Carolina Thunderbirds in the Federal Hockey League. Arguably, they are the hottest hockey team in all of North Carolina. College, pro, club, anything. They are 28. 3-1 in 19 games straight.
Good golly, Miss Molly.
Wow.
Wow. They have 85 points in their standings.
That's fantastic.
No one's going to touch them. They're going to be first place in the Federal Hockey League until they get playoffs.
Yeah, and I think that's with losing players because the Thunderbirds actually gave up a goalie to move up to the SPHL, and they drove him down to play for the marksmen.
It's a lot of fun seeing where all these hockey players are going. If anybody doesn't know, it goes Federal Hockey, CPHL, ECHL. SPHL. Yeah.
You keep saying CPHL. I don't know why.
I don't know either. Maybe it's because I used to work for the CPL, the Coastal Plains League for baseball.
It's true.
Maybe.
But don't worry.
It's ingrained in you.
Yeah, it is.
You need help.
Yes.
I got to promote leagues. Holly Springs Salamanders, let's go.
Woo!
But, the way the progression is in North Carolina, the only league we do not have is the ECHL, and that's because Charlotte became the AHL team.
Right, and I'm thinking maybe if we want to complete the trifecta within North Carolina, that marksmen should get a chance to become an ECHL affiliate.
I mean, the way their attendance is going.
Yeah,
and we can give up the Florida Everblades to the
Washington.
Golden Knights.
Or Seattle.
Or the Panthers, or some team that's down there. We're going to need more ECHL teams. We're going to need more. We actually still need another AHL team, and then we're going to need more for Seattle when they join.
It's going to be very interesting where all these teams are going to realign with the expansions.
And it's good because it just means that the sport is growing, and more players coming out of college will get a chance to play and prove their way up, even if they don't get drafted.
Speaking of college,
I'm in it and I'm suffering.
well, let's go over like the brief recap, like how all this started. Mm-hmm. First, we messaged you. Mm-hmm. You said we'll meet up at the NC State game. I came in, we talked, everything went good, and then the game kicked butt. If you were not at that game, you missed out. It was, close to 9,000 people in the lower bowl.
I would say closer on the ballpark of 7,000, but still.
It was still
that's so impressive.
That's still impressive.
And that's for a club hockey team. None of these guys get money at all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But they played like it.
Oh, they played like it.
Definitely.
They won 5-0, which is still a relatively low score for an NC State UNC game.
They won 5-0 with the opposing goalie still making one of the 3 stars.
Oh, yeah. The opposing goalie, he
made 58 saves, if my memory is correct. Because State did pile on 63 shots in that game, and they're always a really good offensively dynamic team, but once they did that goaltender was among the best that they faced this year. I would say even more so than the ECU goaltender they faced that Friday prior.
Yeah.
Dang. Like, just imagine taking 58 shots. That is a massive undertaking. You don't see that in the NHL ever.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, well, the Canes did put up like 53 shots or 54
Well,
shots
that was
against
under the Bill
Wild.
Peters era.
No, that's earlier this year.
That was earlier this year?
Yeah, against the Wild.
Well, we still won that game.
No, we lost it.
Dang.
No, we did win that game. We won that one in overtime.
Yeah. See, I was right.
We won we lost the game against Winnipeg, and we still put up like 49 shots against them.
Yeah.
And that's when our shot like percentage like dipped,
Dived.
and we're like, whoa, what's going on here? We were doing so well, then realized we're not.
But one thing I want to ask Zach, with the game in PNC Arena, a lot of people, that was their first time ever seeing NC State really playing. That was their third game inside PNC Arena, the largest crowd they've had. But what is it actually like at their home arena at the Iceplex in Raleigh?
Well, that was their third time they've played at the PNC Arena this season, but all time they are 6-0. So they've played in the PNC quite a lot. And before I talk about the Iceplex, the growth of the amount of fans that were there, the first game, I would say it was just the entire East Priority Lounge that was filled. And then we're here now where it was almost wrapping around to where we were on the West entrance. So that's how far the attendance has gone. But at the Iceplex, it's no less rowdy. It's a little bit smaller than the PNC Arena, obviously. Fans have an amazing time there because beverages are allowed. Beverages that I'm not allowed to discuss on the air because I want to keep my job.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is not the air.
It's not.
This is a podcast.
That's right.
It's not there. This is not radio.
If he's not going to say it, I'm going to say it.
As long
He
as-
has
as-
beer.
Yeah, as long as you don't cuss, you're fine.
Okay.
And the only thing I say you don't cuss is because I had to change the rating. We could
man.
cuss, but that's extra work for me.
We got to keep this like PG-13. We got to keep it there.
It makes it better so that iTunes doesn't hate us.
Oh, that's very true.
We got to get that money.
So PG to PG-13, that means what? You can't say
You can't
the
say
S word, but you can talk about boobs. I don't.
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
Well, you could probably say the S word,
yeah, we
but
can
just
say the S
don't
word.
go to
I think
F
we're
or A,
limited.
that kind
I think
of
we're
thing.
limited how many times we can say it. It's like 8.
I think according to the new Deadpool movie that came out last December, a PG-13 is allowed one F-bomb.
Oh.
I think so.
Oh, you mean Once Upon a
No
Deadpool?
F-bombs.
Once Upon a Deadpool. Fantastic movie.
Thank you,
was.
Fred Savage.
Hey, that's the Def Bomb. You usually use it already.
But what NC State fans are getting there, the team is extremely doing well, and that's really behind, from my eyes, 2 players. Number 2, Sam, I can't even say his last name.
Banishevitz.
And your goalie, Joey Hall. Like, those 2 guys.
Sorry, come again.
Banishevitz.
Sam Banishevitz, yeah.
But
This is
like,
how you know he's
Sam-
good at his job. He just picked
Not
it off top of his head.
Manischewitz.
He has no.
Just great.
He has no sheet in front of him with all the pronunciations.
Well, after a while, you got to memorize it.
Yeah, that's very true.
Especially when you got to be friends with basically the entire team.
Yeah, definitely. I have a class with some of the guys, so we're okay friends, but I'm still trying to just like meet them all and get accustomed to them. So
Especially with Sam and Joey, those 2, Joey's the defensive side. He lets in very few goals this year. And then with Sam, he is, I would say, the defensive and more than likely the hit captain, because he's everywhere. Especially in that UC game, he was going everywhere and just massively going after everybody.
he is the heart and soul of the Ice Pack team. There is no doubt in my mind about it. He does an outstanding job of just making sure every game that he leads by example. He's very vocal in the locker room, and he's just accomplished so much in his 5 years that he's been here, and there's still a few games left, and there's still the ACCHL tournament, which will be coming soon.
Speaking of those games that are coming up soon, 2 of them are in the Iceplex. You got February 1st versus,
Duke, I think.
I believe it is Duke, and then you have the 8th against Clemson. Both games are at 8:45 at the Iceplex if you all want to go. I would highly recommend it. I'm trying to make it out to at least one of those before they make their way to the ACCHL tournament, which is actually going to be a very fun event. It's actually in Winston-Salem where the Thunderbirds play, and the quote-unquote home team are hosting. Wake Forest actually qualified for the playoffs last night.
Yeah, they did.
So we got 2 quote-unquote home hosts. What are you expecting to see out of this? Because it's the best of the conference, but so far NC State has proven come at us.
Sooner or later, Pack TV will be doing our annual ACCHL tournament preview. I'll give you my scoop right now, what I think is going to happen. I think State is going to steamroll through everybody, to be quite honest with you. Their only fear right now is going to be Virginia. Virginia has been a pain in the butt to State for the past several years, and that's not going to be a fun game, whatever happens. But it's still going to be a fun tournament. Wake Forest, as you heard, just qualified. Charlotte's going to be in there as well. It's just there's going to be a lot of really rich hockey games that you would expect a professional team to be playing.
Hey, a couple people online are saying go Manders.
Yeah, go Manders. Yeah. I mean, I did work there. I'm the rep on that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And with the ACCHL tournament, what would be next? Say they do steamroll over everybody. Right. What would be next?
So State at that point would have to wait, I would say a week or so. I talked to Coach Mike Azzillo about this just a little bit, not too much. It's going to basically be a funding issue for them to go to the regionals if they do go beyond the ACCHL tournament, which another thing. Also, they are doing a fundraiser at Gumby's on Hillsborough Street on February 2nd all day, and that'll help fund the practice time and everything like that for the ACCHL tournament and beyond. So go to that if you guys can. But beyond the ACCHL tournament, it's going to be the entire ACHA Southeast division. I believe the top 25 teams in State right now is number 6. They're going to be moving up very shortly, though, after their last few wins.
All right, so with all that happening, what are the team thinking? Like, are they trying to stay in the moment? Are they looking ahead? Or are they just thinking, man, what's my math final going to be?
Well, I actually was thinking about this before I came. I remember Coach telling me something. It's that the only team that is going to be losing is yourselves. It has to be all in their mentality. You have to be the ones that want to come out and win every day. They know where they're at, and they know that the power that they have right now. I mean, on Twitter right now, NC State Hockey is one of the toppest charting teams at the moment, so they don't want to mess this up for themselves.
I mean, we got to give them a shout out. They did follow us.
Awesome. That's good.
NC State Hockey.
Yeah,
That's great.
Look, we're not a very picky podcast when it comes to which hockey teams we want to support. Yeah. We support all hockey teams.
Every hockey North team Carolina. In the state, please follow us.
Yeah, we're here for North Carolina.
We got UNC, we got State. We need like a bunch more colleges.
We're here for all the hockey teams within the Carolinas, and that's just something to do with growing the sport here and showing that it does belong here. That nobody can tell us, well, hockey don't belong down there. It's so hot. You guys are all hillbillies or whatever they trying to say to discourage us from enjoying the sport. And I say no. This sport belongs to all of us.
Well, one major thing that's happening with the growth of the sport is the construction of the Wake Competition Center over in Morrisville. They have, I believe, 2 ice rinks that are being built, a bunch of baseball fields, and a couple other tennis, basketball things. But gymnastics.
I would say
it's going to be an amazing thing. They messaged me the other day saying that seating in that place will be somewhere around 3,000.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that might be a future place for NC State UNC games, not necessarily for guys or anything going down the line. It's any competition. They could have a figure skate thing over there. It could be a new women's hockey,
sled hockey, women's hockey.
A lot of things could be moving over there, and it's exciting because the Canes even said that they might be moving over there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think for practices and stuff as well.
It's going to be really exciting in the near future because the more that Dundon invests in this region, the more the fans are going to start coming and extremely invested. Like Amanda, you live right behind the Carey Ice House, and Dundon gave
her location for everyone to find out.
Right.
Yeah. And Dundon gave the whole thing a massive facelift, and it looks a whole lot better. Canes things are literally plastered everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere.
So it's great to see how things are changing.
I also work there part-time, too.
Go say hi to her.
Yeah.
All right.
Say hi.
Look, when it comes to growing the sport in North Carolina, regionally in the whole
we need
non-traditional, quote-unquote, non-traditional markets, it's not about what people think it's needs to happen. It's all about actually going out there and showing them that the sport of hockey is actually amazing. And to do that, there has to be opportunities for people to go watch the game in all its various forms: sled hockey, men's hockey, women's hockey, college hockey, professional hockey.
I mean, even the youth hockey games are amazing.
Yeah, because there's things that you could do at youth level with technically the ice is bigger.
Right.
That really to the younger sized individual, they won't really see.
There was a when I was working, I want to say it was Friday, maybe it was Saturday. There was a 12U game with the Lady Junior Canes, and I'm sorry, I forget what the guys were, but it was a girls against guys basically. I mean, they did amazing. It was such an exciting game, and I'm like, God, these are 12-year-olds, but it was really exciting, and I really enjoyed it. I didn't know anybody on the team, but I really enjoyed it.
And that's another thing. It's one of those sports where, there's a lot of controversy around, like, can women play football? They're not tough enough, blah, 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 blah. Or can, baseball, or women should stick to softball. Hockey, there's none of that conversation because women's hockey is equally, if not more exciting sometimes than men's hockey. The women's U.S. Olympic team, I would say, is a lot more exciting and probably plays even better than some of the men's NHL teams. And
I wish they had the chance to prove that.
And that's why I want to turn to now with the NHL All-Star Weekend, and I'm going to call it the All-Star Weekend because I think that the skills were more exciting and much more satisfying to watch than the game.
Yeah, that was fun.
I mean, our boy Sebastian Aho did do gains on that.
And it's not only about Sepe and all the fun stuff he had. He had 2 goals and assist in the 2 games as the Metro won the All-Star game.
Get that $1 million.
But watching the All-Star game, they didn't play with enough fever and talent, and it's because they didn't want to get hurt. And I understand that this game's technically meaningless. Yeah. I mean, if they split the $1 million across, what was it, 12 of them? Everyone's getting about $90,000. It's not. It's not that much money, really, down the line.
But the star of the whole weekend was actually a female hockey player.
Right. And not just one. 2 of them, at least. And that's the thing. You know what? I'm going to hand this over to Amanda. She could probably say this a lot better than I can.
Yeah, well, the one that got the most attention, I think, was Kendall Coyne Schofield, where she did fastest skater. And she came in not even half a second under
She came in about a second under McDavid.
Connor McDavid.
Connor McDavid.
I was trying to say
flying.
McDavid, but the C from the Connor was coming in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, she started off.
Connor McDavid.
She did a fantastic
David
job. The only thing that irks me about it is they were talking about breaking barriers, and they talked about her USA and her college level and everything like that, but they did not even mention the fact that she's on a NWHL team, the Minnesota Whitecaps.
She's on the Whitecaps.
Why even? How do you get some people don't even know that league exists. So if you're not talking about it, how are you going to get it out there? I'm so happy to see that she did that, and it was great to see. And I'm really glad that she got the attention that she did.
But what I didn't like about it is some of those guys, especially, who was it, Pierre or whoever, kept talking about how her husband plays football.
Yeah, why do we need to talk about her husband? We're not talking about her husband.
Nobody talks about...
Unless he's in the Super Bowl, I don't care.
Well, even then, this is hockey.
About
this
her
is hockey.
Skills and her hockey skills. Why are we mentioning her husband? What does that have to do with anything?
When they talk about PK Subban, they're not saying, well, he's dating Lindsey Vonn, and
which
she's
he talks
a
about
skier.
every 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah. Well, he does that. He's allowed to do that. But
yeah, Pierre's in a world of his own, so it's kind of just let him be and let him do his thing. Just ignore it. Wait on for the next day.
Let's just say Canadian media is not a fan of anything inside the United States.
Yeah. But this is why I think that the All-Star game should go should expand, right? Forget the actual game. Let's call it All-Star Weekend, right? And make it Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 nights of skills events, full Olympic-style hockey skills event. Make it a big thing. Invite the AHL, invite the NWHL, and invite the CWHL.
Yeah.
Bring
Make
the
it
best
a
of the
big,
best
huge
of
thing.
every
Yeah.
level out there, every professional level. And I'm going to say the cutoff is the AHL, right? So bring all the women from the NWHL and the CWHL out, the NHL and the prospects that are down in the AHL. Bring them out and let them compete for fastest skater and add more competitions to it. That was much more exciting, and the players tried harder to do that. I want to see Hillary Knight go on and try to score a shootout goal against Henrik Lundqvist. I would like to see that.
Yeah.
I want to
That would be
see.
great.
Speaking of the CWHL, I watched their All-Star game. It was fun. And then
Yeah, I
their
think that
opening
makes it
face-off
fun.
was hilarious.
Yeah.
They had a
you got
player.
the goalie.
They had a player versus goalie, and the goalie just dropped down and covered the
Yeah.
puck. I mean, you can't tell me that's the player having fun.
Yeah. She did a great job.
Hashtag make hockey fun.
Indeed.
Yes.
And you know what?
And
If
one
we,
lead.
you know what else should be part of the All-Star game? It should announcers, PA, media personnel. Bring out the best and the best, not just the
I
dudes
think
who
that's
work
great.
for NBC. I want to hear Forsland Cole things. I want
to hear Minter out there.
Right.
Bring out this guy. Bring out Zach.
Or whoever is considered to be the best
Yeah.
in that. And that should be part of inclusion. The best of the best in the entire hockey community in general should be invited out to show the world how great the sport is. Now you invest people in personalities. Now you're investing people in women's hockey, the smaller leagues that no one really cares about. And I will tell you right there and then that people's investment in hockey would grow. NBC would get a much better viewership of these events, and you get 3 nights in a row. You do the third night maybe in the morning because it clashes with Pro Bowl.
Sure.
Got it.
Yeah.
Well, not many people even watch the Pro Bowl event
Exactly,
to
because the
begin
Pro
with.
Bowl's gotten boring.
Yeah.
All these events, we want to see the best of the best. Show us that they're the best.
And it would
of
give the
best.
players reinvented interest in the event because we had, 2 or 3 people who were all-stars this year, and they just completely dropped out.
Right. And because why? I don't want to go. And I can blame him. I can't blame him.
I can't blame them either, but
Was
things
it-
need to change.
Was it just Ovi that sat out, I believe?
There was like 2 other people.
Well,
Gotcha.
One of the guys that was why Kendall Coyne Schofield did the competition because somebody
It was
McKinnon, I think.
Yeah.
was
Nathan McKinnon.
injured.
He got
Didn't
hurt.
want to-
He
so we
couldn't
asked her to do
hurt.
it.
So he gave up his spot for her. And I think that shouldn't be the case. He shouldn't have to give up his spot.
Right.
She should have a spot.
Right.
And all the the women should have a spot. I think it's just insane who gets to decide what event they participate in. It's the NHL player safety.
Right.
No, you guys have other work to do.
Right.
I know you're not doing it, but you should do it.
Maybe that Oiler who checked the Kane into a bench.
Yeah.
And that's another thing with the refs sometimes going full bird box challenge. It's just not the place for it.
Well, the whole thing about player safety is not just with the NHL. The NWHL has a massive problem with that. And Amanda, you know this
got a
best.
huge rant on that one. I did.
Let us have it. Bring on the rant.
Can we before we do that, I do want to mention Brianna Decker in the skills challenge. She won it. She purely won it. However, because she is not an NHLer, she was not able to get the $25,000 prize. They gave it to the second runner-up, the man who is an NHLer, and so that
Driscoll. Driscoll is the one who won it.
is
Aho came in
Phil.
second place. I think Aho came in third place.
Oh, well, technically, yeah. He came in third place, but because she's
Because she's not an NHLer, that is.
Didn't
Right.
CCM
That
give
is
her the
the
money
money.
anyway?
Yes, that was my
CCM
next
gave
point.
her money,
Uh-huh.
but that's not who's. CCM just said, "Hey, here's $25,000. You earned this, even though we're not supposed to be the ones to pay you." And that's absurd. That this is the concept. And I'll say this about it, right? If you're women shouldn't be allowed to demo for the men. They should be if they're the one doing it and they're doing it better than everyone else. They should be competing.
They should be in it.
Maybe get kids out there to demo. How about that?
And then the NHL did donate $25,000 to a charity of their choice just for
that's more infuriating.
Yeah, for participating, which also infuriates me because $25,000 would be huge to these players considering
that's more than their salary.
What is their salary?
Half. They average, I think it's anywhere from like $5 to $10,000 a season. $5
to $10,000 a season. So I make about, maybe on my real life job, around $50,000 a year. Yeah. And if someone says, "Oh, by the way, here's $1 million, but you have to donate it,"
right?
Even though I earned $1 million, right?
I would donate it to the Zach Heinous Foundation for money.
I mean, granted, they'll probably put it in to grow the game for girls and things like that. But at the same time, this is more than they make a season. So why can't they keep it? That just doesn't make any sense to me. These women have to have full-time jobs to survive, as well as playing pro hockey. So let them have
this archaic concept that women are supported by men and we should pay them less and. It's gone. It's welcome to the 21st century, people.
They get, the higher it'll go.
I think CCM did a good thing though. They donated the $25,000. I believe it was to Kendall Coyne. It
was Brianna Decker.
Well, I mean, the point still stands though. Sure. They did the right thing, and they were just like, "You deserve this, so Absolutely. Here you go." So, I think the NHL missed out on a big marketing opportunity there because the whole point of everybody can play, you can play. It sounded like based off that competition, no one could play.
That's a good point.
And the worst thing is the NWHL missed out on a massive opportunity because they still have their All-Star game coming up. The NHL could have said something,
yeah, and
it would have brought attendance up a considerable amount. But they just sat there and oh, she's here.
Yeah, and the thing is, Bettman talks a good game, but actions speak louder than words. And I'm sorry, Bettman, but you're all barking, no bite. You talk a good game. NHL's all about diversity and inclusion. The words are coming out of your mouth, Bettman.
But you're not acting.
But the league isn't acting, and you represent the league. And right now, I'm completely disappointed in you and your officials.
I mean, granted, Buffalo did partner with the Buttes. The Devils have partnered with the Riveters and.
Nashville.
Well, Nashville is hosting, but they don't have.
But these are the teams. But these are the teams
that they've partnered with, and they're kind of under them or supporting them.
Well, the fact that we've already starting to get that trend now that they're starting to get teams that are going after them to get the sponsorships and everything. It's a good start, but it's nowhere near where it should be for the amount of times that
just partnered with the Pride, which is awesome.
For the amount of seasons this league has already been in, it should have been a lot farther down the line.
Well, we're getting started. Okay, so back to player
Rant time.
Safety rant time. Okay, so I believe it was last game, the Buffalo Buttes played the Riveters. Sorry. Okay, so maybe I'm a little biased because yes, I am a Riveters fan. However, and if it wasn't for the fact of my crazy girl crush on Shannon Zabados, I could and Blake Bolden.
Keep it PG-13.
Hey, I can't help it. Have you seen her? But
I am.
But the Buffalo Buttes in general. So I'm a little older, and in my experience, if somebody did you just say a lot? I hate you. If somebody shows you who they are, pay attention. Because my first husband called me the queen of second chances, and he was right. But Buffalo Buttes have shown me who they are, and I'm not impressed. And so there was a so-called fight between Madison Packer and Sarah Casarso. Excuse me if I'm saying names bad, but
hey, hand name over to Zach. Maybe he can.
Although you do have to.
Let's see it. Let's see it. Can you?
All right. So where's the name?
It's down here. Casorso. I think that's it. Anyway.
That sounds right to me.
So
break it down phonetically.
All right, we got the
we got the approval.
All right, I'll give you an 8 out of 10 on that.
All right.
8 out of 10.
That's still passing.
That is. Bees get degrees.
But I wouldn't even really call it a fight. It was more like maybe a wrestle, a shoving. The big thing was her helmet came off. this lady from the Buffalo Beauts. Her helmet came off. Madison Packer may or may not have done a headlock. I don't know. But there was no punching involved. There was no blood, blah, blah, blah. The thing is, Madison Packer got a 1-game suspension for this. And the Buffalo Beauts lady, she coincidentally retired.
I'll say what?
Just retired. So who's serving the penalty for the Buffalo Beauts? Who's getting that 1-game suspension? Nobody, which is extremely, extremely unfair.
Would there be a team fine in that scenario then, do you think?
In an ideal situation, yeah.
I think it should have been, okay, maybe a penalty, maybe a fine at the most. But a 1-game suspension, that's ridiculous. You know, the men go out here and they fight.
No,
there's blood on the ice, blah, blah, blah. They get 5 minutes in the box.
5-minute box. Treat the women same you treat the men. 5-minute box, same thing. It's that's how
Maybe
the
a
sport is
roughing
played.
call.
Unless
I
you're
don't
the
know,
Canes
but-
recently, where we get these random double penalties.
Oh yeah, you mean or taking off your helmet like they did back in the 80s.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but Furlan's watched too many.
But this whole situation in the NWHL with penalties and in the NHL, it's ridiculous. If you fight, it's 5 minutes. You shouldn't
Give or take a couple of
discourage.
minutes, depending on the severity.
Yeah, you shouldn't discourage fighting in women's hockey because guess what? It's mainstream in men's. Why care? Let them do it.
Look, this is what half the reason people watch hockey is because, you know, they want to watch a fight interrupted by some, you know, team sport.
It's basically the same reason why people watch NASCAR
But
to
it just-
see the wrecks.
It
Exactly.
just irritated me because it just seems like, I don't know if the Buffalo Beauts are owned by the same people that own all of Buffalo sports, basically. And I don't know if it's because they are or if the fact that
Buck Buffalo.
Hey, that's PG. We can say it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works.
They just irritate because they seem untouchable, and it doesn't seem like things get, they just don't seem to, I don't know where my thoughts are going.
It just doesn't
It's
seem
not fair,
fair.
damn it.
There we go.
There we go.
We came to a conclusion.
We agree with you. We totally agree with you.
See, I'm so on this rant and everything is so scrambled in my
She's
mind.
been
because
building
it was
up this for
so
about 2 weeks,
angry. And they interviewed Madison Packer, and she said that call was bullshit. And you know what, Madison? I completely agree with you. And I guess I'll leave it there.
Well done, rant.
No, it was horrible. But
No, it was
The rant was
good. I
well
liked
done.
it. But it brings up a conversation, especially in player safety on multiple leagues, because in the NHL recently, there's been a ton of controversy with the likes of Tom Wilson and a few others that,
could you imagine if one of the girls acted like Tom Wilson?
yeah.
Hey, at least none of them are out there
But-
like Marchand licking people.
Oh, yeah. I still find that funny.
That was legendary.
I still find that
Oh my
funny. I don't
God,
care.
that's horrible.
But in the
Hi.
Okay, but what was going
Imagine
through my
if-
mind is just why? Why was he imagining like people were lollipops or something like that? I mean, like,
he's look, Marchand's like that kid from high school. He's like, what's the weirdest thing I could do right now?
no,
I'ma
I
do
think
it.
he's been watching
I'ma
the
do
Christmas
it.
Story too much.
I'ma do it.
If I lick this, will my tongue stick?
Like it's not a penalty.
the
It's
Jeffrey
not a
Dahmer
book.
of the NHL.
Oh my god! I mean, they are making a what was it? The serial killer they're making a movie for is Zak Efron.
Ted Bundy.
They are making a Ted Bundy movie, so they're like, hey, let's get weird.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, but okay, look, guys like Marchand. At least he's not out there biting people's fingers off.
They're at least making it fun or interesting.
Yeah, it's bringing some attention to the league, and just like if you can't police it too much, just like they police the touchdown celebrations in the NFL and it went downhill from there. Don't police it. Control it.
If you ever watch the Canadian Football League, they do not care with the celebrations. They will let them do whatever.
Yeah, and I'm just so upset about one thing when it comes to the Kane celebrations. El Nino still hasn't gotten a chance to participate.
Oh man.
It's
Well,
been a
he's
couple
got his
games.
first chance on the first.
Yes,
That is true.
Friday the 1st will be the next game up for the Canes against the Vegas Golden Knights with PK's little brother Malcolm.
Yay,
and Marc-Andre
But will he be in
Fleury.
goal?
Fleury. Oh, I can't wait to see Fleury in person.
Fleury did pretty good in the All-Star game, though, yesterday.
Oh,
He
yeah,
did.
Yeah.
amazing.
They didn't crank up his Frozen "Let It Go" loud enough. That's what
Oh,
happened.
no.
Oh my God.
I think that's great. I share that kinship with him of having daughters and having a frozen house. I get it.
Oh, I've worked at Disney. You have any idea how many times I heard that song?
Where haven't you
Oh, man.
worked?
I've moved a lot of times. I lived outside of Pittsburgh for 4 years for college. I came home. I moved to Florida. I came back.
Jack of all trades.
I might go back.
Oh,
It all
boy.
depends what happens. I might go back. I want to work for Disney, but right now I need money.
Yeah.
I want to work for Disney, but I'd rather have money.
I need money to get down there first, but I also want to stay with you guys because it's freaking awesome.
All right, so the trade Victor Rask for
El Nino.
El Nino. How awesome was that trade?
I know. How are the
Hold
flowers?
on. Wait a
coming
minute.
along?
Wait a minute. We got to do this
Okay.
right.
Do we have flowers yet?
We got to do this
Not
right.
yet.
Break out the Spanish accent. El Nino.
I don't know.
That
And add the
was-
whip.
I don't know if your Spanish accent is very good.
That was marvelous.
Every time he scores now, Mentor, you got to go El Nino. Whoosh.
But he's been a drastic improvement on Victor Rask. He's immediately turned around and contributed 4 goals in 4 games, 2
Rask has
multi-goal
no
games.
points in Minnesota.
No, he's got 1 point. He's got an assist.
He has 1, and Nino has what, 6?
Yeah, something like that. And honestly, we fleeced Minnesota pretty bad. So I do have a GoFundMe up and running for to send Minnesota flowers as a thank you for El Nino, as well as to express our deepest sympathy for their loss in attaining the sweet potato boy, Victor Rask.
I think at one point the team had the lunch and they did have sweet potatoes there, so Victor Rask was like, I need to get out. I need to go.
Oh, damn.
No. PTSD.
He starts getting Vietnam flashbacks. He's just standing there staring into nothingness. Eric Stahl walks by. He's like, "Yo, Victor, what's up? You good?" Because you gotta realize, Victor Rask was still on the team when Stahl was here, so they're reunited. And Stahl's like, "Yeah, we have a sweet potato luncheon." Rask just stares up.
and it feels so
what?
good.
Is Ryan Murphy still there?
I don't think he
No,
is.
Ryan Murphy's in the minors now.
Like, is he in the organization, though?
I don't know.
Oh, you
I
don't
think
know?
So maybe.
We kind of lost track of him.
Yeah.
Well, I think
all
my
the Murphys.
My
are-
favorite tweet was when Murphy was traded to Calgary for a day, then he got flipped again. Somebody got traded to Calgary, and he's just like, "Yeah, you're gonna love it there." I forgot who it was though, but I just remember that.
Yeah,
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Where is Derek Ryan now?
Calgary.
Calgary.
That's right.
Calgary.
That's why it
It's
popped into my
Derek
head.
Ryan, Elias Lindholm, and Noah Hannafin.
That number 7 is cursed because Derek Ryan wore it, and then Murphy wore it, and then Derek Ryan wore it, and then Phil DeSippe wore it. So
And they're all gone.
and they're all gone.
I won a Derek Ryan stick online, and I donated it to the NWHL.
Well, here's the thing, though. He has
a-
Victor Rask.
I have Victor Rask's stick from last year.
We're still keeping it. We're not getting rid of that.
No, I'm not donating that. That stays because it is a hockey is for everyone pride tape stick.
That's
so.
cool. That's cool.
Yeah,
I mean,
This is
I got a
just
signed Cam
random
Ward
Ryan
picture. I
stick.
ain't getting rid of that.
No, and speaking of Cam Ward, I like that he got he got lit up the other day. Just bad.
I mean, Chicago's just not having a good season in general. Both goaltenders are very inconsistent, and I don't know how Crawford is still playing.
he's made out of Carver's made out of glass, and Cam Ward is Cam Ward. We know him pretty well.
All I care is Cam has, I believe, a 1-year contract with Chicago. So after this year, please retire as a Cane. Please.
Sign a 1-day deal. I don't know.
Do
how-
the
bad.
Eric Cole. Just do the Eric Cole.
Yeah.
What, live here forever and keep showing up for random games and
Yeah.
events?
Well, I was saying more along the lines of do the 1-day deal, retire as a Cane, and become an ambassador for the team. That's what Eric Cole is. He is an ambassador for the team.
What I do like, I think Cam Ward has a future in coaching. Not for the NHL, maybe not, but Cam Ward's, he's good with kids. Every time you see him, he's good with instructional pieces, coaching and stuff. Him and Scott Darling actually kind of went to the gym a bit before he went to Chicago, and so he's very good at working with people, training and stuff like that. I think he might have a future in coaching. But really, other than that, I don't think he's got a future in the league, though.
I think, though, Cam Ward was the reason I fell in love with hockey. Dating all the way back to 2006 and seeing the first save he made on the Oilers and in that Game 7 game, he meant a lot to me growing up, and it really broke my heart when he decided to go to Chicago. I know there was a lot of kind of like mixed emotions that Hurricanes fans have, but going off of what you said, talking about how good he is with kids, I mean, growing up, I did, and I do still coach for Triangle Special Hockey Association, a beautiful organization that gives special needs kids a chance to play, and we teach mentorship and teamwork and friendship. It's just a great cause, and Cam graciously donated a lot of his Sweet Time Cam's champs to those kids. So if anything, I do agree with what you're saying about Cam being an ambassador, because if there's a player that can make anybody fall in love with hockey, it is Cam Ward.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he absolutely has a place in
there.
in the league. Just maybe not so much in net. It happens, right? People lose their mojo. People, as they age and stuff, they move on, and it's okay. And I think he moves on and becomes great somewhere else in the league. And same way you would say like Tony Romo. His quarterback career, inconsistent stuff, but he's already a legendary sportscaster
and a friend of the Hurricanes.
Of the Hurricanes. Yeah, that's right. Romo has that Carolina Hurricanes jersey.
We're still waiting on Ric Flair to show up.
He's showed up before. He'll be back.
No, that's what I'm saying. I want him back this year. Come on, Ric Flair, Charlotte Flair, get into Raleigh. You are North Carolinians. We want you at a game.
Woo!
All right.
Well,
who
for that
asked
too,
us
but
if we actually play a Ric Flair saying that's a Carolina Hurricanes goal.
Yeah.
Woo, woo, woo.
One
on YouTube for those who
the
don't
Nashville podcast who we correspond with on a regular basis. They actually asked us the other day if we actually do that, like if we actually have Ric Flair as part of our goal song. I'm like, we've had that since like 1999.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think we're coming to a close.
Before we go, let's talk about some future things that are going on.
Yes.
With the Red Eye Rowdies, we have Godzilla Night coming up with the Charlotte Checkers. I believe that's on the 23rd of February.
Indeed. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. If you're not, make sure you go on their Facebook group so you can stay up to date with the ticket situation.
Also, find us on our Facebook and
our Facebook,
YouTube.
Twitter, YouTube, everything. Just follow us on everything.
Follow us on everything. Subscribe everywhere. Anywhere you see a subscribe button next to our name, just hit it.
Follow Zach too.
Yes. Give everyone your Twitter handle real quick.
So my name is at Zak Selwaeh. I know I told you guys in the beginning not to worry about my last name, but if you want to follow me, you're going to have to worry about it. So my name is actually spelled with a K, so it's ZAKSELWAEH. If you guys want to give me a follow, that's great. I only tweet about hockey at this point, so I mean, if you just want to see it, it's there. So there's that.
Also, make sure you stay up to date with anything in the ACCHL and NC State hockey. We'll try to keep up to date with that as well. And we've been invited to the tournament in Winston-Salem, so we'll see if any of us can actually make it.
I'll be sure to get you guys on for some guest commentary if I can.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be fun.
That would be really cool.
Your name is such a hockey name anyway, so I mean, you could totally see that on the back of a jersey.
I mean, me and Zach will just make identical T-shirts. Go Zach Squad.
There you go.
I mean, we're two Zachs. We're two broadcasting majors. It all works.
What was that quote from Star Wars? It's getting out of hand. Now there's two of them.
Also, we loved our game with the Marksmen. They've invited us back, so make sure you stay tuned. We're planning to go to another game hopefully sometime soon. Just make sure you stay for
big group and get loud.
Make sure you stay for updates. It's well worth the money.
Yeah, and we had such a fun time.
There was only 7 of us, and we had a great game.
Yeah, 6 of us. About
6. Yeah, there was only 6, and we still had a great game.
Yeah, we had an amazing game. We got noticed, definitely. Even by
we were on
team.
the Jumbotron like 8 times.
That's fun.
It was a lot of fun.
They just love us. It's a great time. We're going to go back. Just make sure you stay open for future details. We'll post if we're going to any Canes games soon. I know you are, Amanda.
Yeah, I'm going to Vegas. I'm so excited.
Also,
I mean, not Vegas. I'm going to the game on the 1st to play against Giga. I'm sorry. I'm geeky when it comes to flirting, so I'm very, very excited.
The other major announcement is Amanda is going on the road to Nashville.
That's right. I am going on the road. The first weekend. Anyway, it's the February 9th and 10th. And we've talked about it before. It's the NWHL All-Star Weekend. So that's going to be very exciting. I'm going to try to get some interviews in and take lots of pictures.
If you see her there, make sure you say hi.
Please do. That would be amazing. Also, Danielle, thank you. She just commented, have fun at hockey. I am in hockey class now, and I'm bruising, but it's fun.
I will join you when I actually get a pair of skates.
Yeah.
But thank you, Danielle. I will try.
Yeah, I've outgrown the skates I have now. Need new skates. I have everything else though.
Yeah. Hey, maybe Zach will let the team give us a few tips when we get to that point.
Yeah, we'll see about that. We'll see.
He's like, whoa,
Sam will just
too many favors.
Sam will just throw me into the boards.
Yeah, no.
This has been a big lesson of how out of shape I am.
Oh.
But it's
Isn't
fun.
everything we do just a lesson of how
But yeah, hockey this month is going to be very, very exciting, even though February is the short month, is going to be a fun month.
It is going to be a fun month,
packed.
and it's the do or die month for a lot of teams.
For a lot of teams, trade deadlines coming up. We'll see who moves, who stays. Make sure you keep up with all this, and we'll try to give you whatever commentary we can.
Hey, quick before we go, Furlan staying or going?
At this moment, I think he stays unless we either A, get a polished first liner, and or they give us
first liner,
or
That's,
we get a first, or they give us a first round draft pick. That is the only way I see Furlan leaving.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Amanda?
I hope he stays. I mean, I don't know if he's gonna, but I hope he does because I think he's a great addition to the Canes.
I really hope he stays as well. I think he's brought an extra bit of flair to this team.
Yeah.
Just with the physicality, he can score goals, do everything like that. So hopefully they can get the numbers situated because I think he's been a great addition to this team.
Absolutely.
One more question for everybody. What defenseman gets traded? We've had so many rumors about defensemen getting traded. Who does?
Here's the three names that are on the block, right? Hamilton, Falk, Pesce.
I say Hamilton is probably the most likely to go.
I say Pesce is untouchable.
Well, they just signed him to that new deal, so it would be a little bit of a weird trade, I would say, if they went ahead and did that because they just signed him.
Yeah, so Pesce, we'd have to ask for a lot in return. So a young shutdown D on a sweetheart deal like that, definitely. And he's signed to like 21, 22. Definitely need to make sure we get a really good return on him if he goes. If it's not a one-for-one kind of player, even if you give me Mitch Marner, whoever Toronto's trying to shell out, like, no, that's not enough for Pesce. I need some draft picks as well. Maybe not some prospects. Our prospect pipeline's filled up, but I need something more than just player for player.
Yeah.
I would be overjoyed if we somehow got Tarasenko.
I'd like to see Tarasenko on a team. But right now with the Blues, right there on the cusp, they're pushing back. They're in the same boat as we are. Mm-hmm. The only difference is that Western Conference isn't as strong as the Eastern Conference.
Usually it's the other way around.
Usually it is, but this year it's not. If the Canes were in the Western Conference, we'd be in the playoff spot right now.
Is it too late to switch?
Right.
Honestly,
I hope when Seattle comes in, they redo the divisions, but that's a topic for another episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when Seattle becomes a little more relevant because they got a few more years down the line. But this was a good episode. I liked it.
Yeah.
Any last comments from anybody?
Any final shout-outs?
My mom, first and foremost.
Hi, Mom.
I know, right? That's it.
That's it.
She should be proud of you. Look at you. You're on a podcast.
Oh, my gosh, I know.
So proud.
I think he has way more accomplishments than that, but hey.
My tens of fans appreciate this.
Well, you're hopefully going to get more with this.
We'll see.
Well, good luck in school and everything.
Quick shout out to Podcasts of North Carolina for officially making us a featured podcast.
Thank you.
Yeah, part of that network now, and hoping to collaborate more with the other networks on there, including Raleigh City Sports.
We got Raleigh City Sports. There's a few other ones that are sports related on there, some that aren't, but we're more than willing to throw our name out there. So thank you, Podcast NC, for that.
And also one more big thing, if you guys can make it out to any of these NC State games, please do so. Of course, I'll be there covering the games if you can't make it, but if you go and you're able to buy those tickets and help donate to the team's missions and dreams and everything like that, it's going to mean a lot more to them, and it's also going to mean a lot to me. So if you can go, check the schedule.
One more time, the fundraiser for NC State.
Yes. So the fundraiser will be at Gumby's on Hillsborough Street. It's a pizza shop just off of, I would say it's across from DHO Library and NC State's campus. If you go there all day, just mention the team. There's going to be some representatives there. You can go in, and 25% of the proceeds from all day is going to go to them.
Great.
All right. So make sure you get out there if you can. I'm going to try to make it out for a game because I love this hockey team. They are fun to watch.
Hey, tell us about the tournament real quick.
Yeah, so the ACCHL tournament's going to be in February 15th through 17th. Is that in 2 or 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that actually crept up kind of fast.
Yes.
So that's going to be fun. But as of right now, there's going to be 3 days of games. So on the first day, there's going to be 4 games, and it's going to be the semifinals, and then, of course, the championship final, which I fully expect State to make the championships unless there's a catastrophic something happening. So...
last shout out is to Officer Ainsworth. Keep fighting, buddy. And if anybody can get out to any of the fundraisers, please do.
All right. Till next time, this is Redvolution Rampage.